Travis Wayne Goodsell. For a virus pandemic, do we want to trust as our primary source for information health experts, or do we want to put our full faith, trust, and allegiance in Governor Gary Herbert of Utah? Governor Herbert is the one who gives the orders. He's supposed to be following the health experts. He's not following the health experts. He's doing his own thing. And how well has that been doing for Utah? Exactly. And so now, Herbert is forced to do something. And so he's doing the minimal. And instead of shutting down, he's saying, well, we're going to force everybody to wear masks. So Salt Lake County finally has to wear masks. They were allowed 1 week. Oh, yeah, that'll cure the virus, won't it? But they got it extended now. So now, all of us in Salt Lake County must wear the masks out in public until August 20th. And we're still going to have to keep doing it because we don't have a vaccine, and if it's got to be invented, it's going to be way longer, and it may never come because there are some viruses that we still don't have vaccines for, such as HIV. We only have treatments. And so, it's interesting. I must be trying to impress the two ladies. If you're not paying attention, I'm going over the news now. The previous video, I didn't make mention that I was going over the news when I talked about Dixie. So yeah, this is what I do. I go over the news, and then I do videos to comment about it. Videos are quicker, easier for me to get information out. If YouTube shuts me down again, because the church is paying them to do so, I will be forced to go back to Amazon and publishing books. And so this information would be in book forms. I would have to rely on people's access to Amazon to spread the word. And that may actually be a better place to spread the word. But it takes quite a lot to do a book, even one that reaches the minimum 24 pages. But because like the one I was working on yesterday got caught up in other things, and as it always happens, if I don't push through to finish the book, at least do the first draft, it'll never get finished. And I knew that when I found out about the total solar eclipse way back in November 4th, 2016. I needed to push to get my alphabet research finished and published of Paleo-Hebrew. I was successful, but yeah, I've not been able to get back to the vocabulary and other such. And so, yeah, that's what we're facing right now, is we now know Herbert is an ass. He's putting our lives in danger. And he's trying to cover up for having put our lives in danger, and Mormons just don't see it. You can tell in the voices of one particular anchor, but he's being held back from saying what he really thinks and feels. But yeah, it's clear Herbert has does not have our best interest in mind. He's more concerned with making money for the state. He's more concerned with looking good to the world and to the nation as providing a good economy for Utah. And because he's focused on the economy rather than the people, he is failing. He is failing miserably. And this mask order, too late. But I remember back in the early days when, it's going to be gone in the summertime. It'll just disappear. And people were saying, okay, it might disappear, but it'll come back in the fall as a second wave. It's still going through the first wave through the summer. So no, don't believe what they're telling you. This virus is mutating. They told us it wasn't affecting those under 65. Then it started affecting those under 65. And they said, you can't have pre-existing conditions, and people with regular health are going down. And then they said, the black community, Africa, for example, they don't have it. And that's because nobody with the virus is going to visit the people in Africa. That's how neglected Africa is. But now they have it because people are going there and spreading it there. And in the South, we're now having outbreaks in the South. And so, yes, it goes after blacks as well. And then they said, it's not going after children. We don't see any children getting it. It's mutated now to go after children. And then they said, the younger generation of adults, they're not getting affected. They're doing just fine. And now they've got it, and it's hitting them hard. There is no one safe from this. Despite immune systems, people are dying, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. They said, it's just going to be one time. All people are getting reinfected. I tried to do my video trying to talk about my experience with whether or not I have it, and YouTube pulled it. And so the hatred on YouTube is censoring me, and the hatred of others are attacking me. And people are coming out and saying, Brigham Young did nothing wrong, despite the church confessing that he was a racist, that he did do something wrong. But it's sickening that people are this hateful. It's not ignorance, it's just hate. Hate drives this denial syndrome that America is going through. Truthers, as they call it. And that's just plain hate. It's not truth. So, yeah. Somebody needs to step in and tell the girls to stop spooning over or swooning. Spooning's a different word. Swooning over this other guy, laughing at his jokes. He's not funny. Anyway, let's see if I can add anything else in this news coverage here. With fireworks season coming up, instead of reporting the news, ABC4 News Utah wants to tell us how to behave and conform. And it's not news when you're telling people how to behave. And they try to cover it up sometimes by saying, firefighters are telling people that they need to do this. Firefighters are now telling us how to behave. Okay, all they need to do is say fireworks are only legal for these particular days, and if they're legal for those particular days, they can only be sold on those particular days. If you sell them in advance, people are going to buy them in advance and will likely use them in advance. It's not a complicated thing to fix. And everybody just wants to tell us how to live. They want to take away our agency by telling us exactly every single step that we must take when we first wake up in the morning and how we're supposed to go to bed at night. They're trying to conform our lives, and anything else that strays from it is an evil, it's a sin, it's a strain from social behavioral norms that they're trying to force. Because you do understand that social norms are just what people have been forcing everybody else to conform to. Is fireworks dangerous? Yes. Can they be safely controlled? Yes. And so, do we have to have only certain days of the year to use them? No. People can use them outside of those days and safely use fireworks, but they have to tell us how to live our lives and when we can and cannot use fireworks. Because there are always those who are dumb, who want to push boundaries thinking they know better. Exactly like the coronavirus. People think they know better than the medical experts who have been telling us from the beginning we need to stay home. You see, now, as when they were late sending us home, the economy collapsed. Well, we got to save the economy, so they let everybody back. That increased the cases of the virus. And then now everybody's saying, well, we can't have the virus. Well, we got to have both ways. You can't have it both ways. They are trying to keep the economy going and at the same time keeping people safe, and it cannot work. People have to stay home. If that is your priority, and I recommend it because if you choose the economy over human life, the economy will collapse. That'll be the natural consequences. And that's what we're headed for, is that there will be nobody left to work. We're looking at a complete and utter destruction of America. And Governor Herbert is refusing to follow the advice of the medical experts, thinking he knows better. I'm governor. I get revelation from God because I'm Mormon. They believe that. If you don't understand that that's how they think, then you haven't been listening to legislative sessions. They literally believe that concept, that they were chosen by the people and that God now, in their office of government, not just in church, but in government, that God leads and directs their lives. Every inspiration they get is from God, and Herbert has now shown who his God is. It's a God of hate, the God of inhumanity, the God of murder,